Morning.
Morning. Hey,
You.
Bob. If any better, I'd be 20. Old salesperson one. If I was doing bad, I'd say hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit.
That's better.
Finer than frog's hair. There's a lot. Yeah. Hello. Hi. No, you're on. Thank you. Yeah. Are you in camera tomorrow?
Exciting.
Well, cancer is back.
I know. Good morning. I'm grateful every time I drive by that I'm not going to that pickup line anymore.
Oh, my no. No. So why would you not go?
Because my girls are at Milwaukie now.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Hi, good
I
morning.
have to sort people out. Well, let me see here. I'll do it one at a time. Oh, you already got, that's why I did.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Get my thing back. We'll shake it up. I'll sit over. Where are you sitting?
I'll sit here. How's that?
I always sit in the same spot.
No, that's.
What's up with that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How are you?
It's all good. We're ready for the weekend? Oh, yeah. We're not ready for the teen events. We're trying to get the marketing out for that.
Is there a plan for if it rains? For tomorrow?
Yeah, there's 10% chance for a rain. If it rains, just that a 10% chance, we're gonna keep it out here. If it's like 60 or 70%, it's full on rain, we're gonna move it inside.
We're gonna be optimistic. It's gonna rain.
Yeah, it's sprinkle in the morning.
It's usually not gonna rain.
Okay.
We got a few more nice days.
I think so.
Hopefully. Although my yard really needs a good soaking.
Well, you know, I stopped watering after I usually I like to go a little bit longer, but when the last water bill was like. It was already starting to turn slightly brown because I wasn't watering enough. Okay, I'm done. And 2 weeks ago, I shut the water, I shut the power. Off. Like, I couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah, isn't water getting expensive though?
Everything
Over
is-
that
oh my
last-
goodness, yeah.
Over that fourth tier. It's like 3 times as expensive. Like,
Yes.
Just under $200 and
Yeah.
I don't know what it'll be next year, I just, we know this.
What are your thoughts?
I think.
For Jeff Fire for the, Star draft, do you think we should just not print it? Already now, completely. And then go back and have it postcard. All this later. I guess that's around that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's greener after I stopped watering it. A couple of days, I think the.
Where would they be with us?
Well, my problem is my eating baskets, for example, you know, after one day, they're just devastating things, so I just.
You go water?
Okay, it's up to you.
Yeah, if you could relax.
Yeah, I was back around. Almost there, go by around. It's time.
But they
Of
feel
course,
like
there's always,
it's hard to have.
church, you know,
We're retired.
we have to go last one there, walking over.
Sure, I love those colors. Good morning, everybody.
Well, you know, it's real faster. I know, it's pretty good.
It's funny how everyone just kind of.
On Chilly morning, this works really nice.
It's the first
Well,
time
we're
I've
trying to
been
do
on
the same thing here, there's no hurry, no one's gonna get
First
out.
time.
So what,
Probably more than that, I know.
that's what kills me, you know?
I was in that line several times.
Oh, yeah.
49 degrees this morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry about that.
Do we have packets with things?
I'm sorry, maybe I'm not.
Hey, how are you? I'm good, I just stopped in the chamber.
I figured you're in there schmoozing here, this looks thicker.
Yeah, is there, is. Perfect packet. The pastries are still warm. Oh, from the chamber event? I don't know. Probably so, they probably had them. Oh, yeah. Nothing wrong with that, huh? Raw pastries sounds like a good idea to me. Yeah. Yeah. Did anybody else make it over yesterday here?
Yes, again,
to
came
the building?
first thing in the morning just to see what it was.
Okay, yeah, I came about 10, I guess it was. Mary Bernard was able to be here in her wheelchair, so it was really great to see her spend some time.
So Rosie got a booth.
Rosie had a booth, yeah, so that was really good. And Foundation had a booth and then this morning, they were the host for the Chamber nonprofit showcase, so that was really cool.
How was Siri?
Huh?
How was Siri?
Sari's great. Her energy level, even sitting in that chair most of the time, is so high. And she's just so engaged in everything. It's just
I wish
it's
I
really
would-
rewarding to see.
If you had done the chamber thing this morning, I would have shown up a little earlier. One of my old founding past president of East Parkland Chamber in 2000.
Oh, yeah?
99, 2000. Well, that before it was still, for 2 years, it was an offshoot of the Gresham Chamber. It became its traditional chamber, the wild there. I call it the first three presidents of the.
Yeah. When I first came up here, I interviewed for the Gresham Chamber position. Didn't get it, and then 6 months later, Demi DeSoto called me and told me this chamber was going to be open. So,
No, active chamber.
yeah, 30 years as a chamber exec.
Yeah.
So, hey, good morning, see you.
Nice to see
I'm
you
gonna
too.
scoot around you guys, cause I wanna talk to Riley for just a minute.
Of course.
Yeah, can I just get your ear for a second?
Doing well?
Yes.
This is always the busy 2 weeks.
I know, yes.
4 meetings and the rest of it. I only lost $1.40 last one last. That's a good week.
Yeah.
I lose $7.
Oh, really?
All in good fun.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Well, wouldn't you love to win that 8.8 or 9 million? Have you seen that? Have you seen the one? If I have
Oh,
I'm about to stay there.
Yeah.
I should really do that, yeah. Right. Need the money.
How are you?
No, every month we play.
Looking forward to the weekend.
Oh,
my.
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
And it's You
The
said-
Italian,
Who
the
said
Latin
that?
festival.
Uh-huh.
How you doing? I'm doing well.
Oh, wow.
Last year, I came brought, it's my, two of my great grandsons.
I bet, I bet.
So yesterday I had, 3 ladies come to my house and we had. lunch.
Yeah, but I'm not, and today.
And I only lost a dog.
Yeah, that's great.
No bad, except the dog.
His birthday today, he's the little.
Not as little anymore, right?
Yeah, see, these are just, like I said, just little.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
And I'll mention it tomorrow.
Love this.
Can I get your ear for just a second?
I need to take this seat.
Yeah.
Our neighbor's kid did that. She couldn't believe the number of hours she spent.
Well, it's nice that high school season now, high school season is actually easier. At least the things are during the week.
It's gonna rain this morning.
Oh, Lord.
Well, there's a slight 10% chance throughout the day, starting at like 10 o'clock through 6 p.m. But I don't know, that's kind of how it was last year we had 30% and it didn't, it's sprinkled in the morning.
I was gonna say, and Bill would like it, right?
Yes.
I mean, a true.
I know, I know.
It didn't seem like they were all day affairs. In Salem or whatever else.
How's your summer been? I mean, I guess it's
Raise your hand.
kind of coming to an end at this point, but.
Shut up.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm tired, it's like every day's a weekend, every day's sunny.
Yeah, my father, it's funny, my father-in-law
Is Ben coming?
just retired.
That's my.
Good luck.
You know.
We had to use
The one I heard about was Rosie, that she was
What did you
gonna
do?
be on.
he worked in the public schools.
So Rosie's on Zoom.
Good
so,
morning.
Is Rosie the only one on Zoom?
There's a couple of people
I
on
see two other
Zoom.
people on Zoom, a Melina and Fireflies.
Rosie, will you just keep talking to us a little bit? Perfect.
Oh, there's two other people that are on Zoom, it looks like.
Yeah, perfect. We can hear you good in here.
I can hear you guys just fine. Thanks for doing the Zoom for me. I don't know if you guys do this every time.
We do, but we did it especially for you today.
Thanks, Jesse.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, so if there's anybody else that like comes into the meeting, it'll pop up here and it'll say so-and-so's entered the room.
Okay.
You'll have to admit them.
Okay.
And other than that, you guys should be good to go. I already turned on the recording. And all that. so-
See, admit if someone else.
Yeah, it'll pop up like right here.
Try to keep fine.
Thanks.
Eyes in the back of my head. Always, I was swivel. Ready? Ready to get into this.
Okay, and then.
Especially the COVID, it's not really doing much. Yeah.
How are you? Can I talk to him? Yeah. Nice. I talked to, Candy a little bit.
Okay. Why don't we-
Our local committee. Yeah, I'm gonna. I kind of figured as much. Otherwise. I did that.
On,
I was kind of.
And it's like when you're into this, to that. You know, we all have.
Did he bring it up on? Yeah, I didn't do it in my report.
Especially with your kids.
Set off.
And then it's like.
Set off. Cascade.
It was.
You just kind of got up, you didn't really have anything to report. That's all right. Things will work out. I was gonna say, yeah, it matters, it doesn't matter. It matters.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. It's going on other officially, exactly.
Who
knows what happens still down there. Yeah, you know, Candy was saying, in fact, for the.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Well, the yards, that's where, otherwise, there's not gonna be any reason to have an advisory committee, there's nothing.
I know.
Just some more,
Right.
So I do.
It does make me feel grateful that we do have a foundation, a real foundation. I can't imagine.
We're so fortunate.
Yeah.
Really. Because I mean, in the history of it, it'd be almost impossible
Oh, I can't even.
to start something up like that.
Especially with all the mix of things going on here as far as. budget.
Maybe not even.
That's that, and the other thing. I can't imagine you trying to manage it. I mean, just like, how do you, well, I guess you wouldn't have as much to manage, but that would be. You have all this.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
We have a short-term ban, so we may show up any minute. Who's on Zoom besides?
Rosie.
Two people were on Zoom.
Hi, guys.
I see.
Fireflies. Whoever that is.
And a Melina B from
Yeah.
Francisco.
Everyone else is in the room on Zoom. I
Oh,
can't.
it's because you're on Zoom.
Yeah, just in case I need to share my screen.
Okay, I got that figured out. Sorry about that. Yeah,
Good morning, Wilda.
morning. Trying to think, where are voices coming from? Oh, it's just one of those mornings, you guys, I'm sorry. So, yeah, we'll call the meeting to order. So we don't have Rochelle with us this morning?
No, she's ill this morning.
Okay, well, I mean, it's not okay, she's ill, but she's just checking
You pass that.
to see what, yeah.
Thank you.
And Ben's not here, so we need a secretary, I think, today, or somebody, you know, that can track what we're doing so that we can put some kind of minutes together. Anybody that might want to do that? I know, it's a thing, everybody.
Nominate Rosie.
No, come on now.
Oh, she's heard you.
You are irreplaceable.
I can still say no over online. I'm still here. Don't be volunteering me for things.
Yeah, I don't mind taking minutes. I mean, it might be a
Oh,
little
the rain,
different.
bless you.
Yeah, I don't mind
I
doing it.
was like looking at the format of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it-
Formatting doesn't matter.
Okay,
just
perfect.
Get the gist of it.
Perfect. I will do it.
Oh, gosh, okay. I do want to let you know that the Board of County Commissioners has approved Virginia's reappointment. So,
Congratulations.
yeah, we appreciate that. Now, everybody is legal, yay. Yeah. So, let's start with project discussion, the open house committee. So Marty, I'm gonna turn it over to you at this point.
Okay.
Okay,
We didn't approve the minutes yet, have we?
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
Oh, yeah, that's my fault. I just looked right over that. Paul, thank you so much for the reminder. Yeah, the minutes of the August 9th meeting, I hope everybody's had a chance to look at them. If there's any additions, deletions, changes, blah, 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 whatever, you know, let us know now. Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second. Okay, moved by Paul, seconded by Joel. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Oh, is it Virginia, not
Oh,
Joel?
Virginia.
Oh.
We have similar voices.
Virginia.
It was me.
Second was Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia, I'm sorry.
Um,
I knew it came from that corner. That's all I knew.
Yeah, you just went in. Rosie,
All those in favor of accepting the minutes as proposed? Thank you.
Hi.
Yes, okay, any opposed? No, okay, so moved. Okay, done. All right, project discussion. Let's start with the open house committee. I'm gonna turn it over to Marty. but
Okay,
I-
well, we are.
Yeah, we're gonna meet a little later, but I also want to know that Riley has agreed to be the board member chair. So as we move forward in the future, I'll have him on the agenda to give a report and Marty can back him up when need be. Is that okay?
Perfect.
Great, and thank you for the 4 of you who volunteered to be on it. So Marty,
So, sure, so we're gonna meet right immediately following this meeting, basically just sort of wanted to set when we're gonna meet in the future, sort of what our general goals are and what we're trying to accomplish. So, one of the main things is to discuss is it 45th year anniversary party? Is it an open house? Is it so exactly what are we looking to do?
Exactly, yeah.
We're really gonna start just from the very fundamentals and then from there we'll work it through.
Well, and I'm just gonna make an assumption that whatever we do, part of it's gonna depend on what budget is available, and that would be something that, you know, you would certainly have understanding of and be able to, you know, help guide the team in that, like it might be more or less for one or the other of those kind of functions, you know, as far as financially, so, yeah, yeah. So,
Well, and I can say that I think that it would probably be, the foundation would probably be able to support some of that as well.
yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have anything, we do not have that budgeted.
Right.
Yeah.
Budget so far ahead of time, but with
No,
the foundation
exactly.
that allows us to
Yeah,
work
that's why I
around
was
that.
thinking about the financial end of it. Yeah. And I think we've seen even, you know, those of us who had a chance to kind of glance in the room over there, and yesterday, whoever came to the housing fair, I think we've seen the successes in those kinds of events where there's tabling and people can show themselves off and whatever. And this morning, the chamber had their nonprofit showcase there, and, you know, maybe in the future, that's in addition to the foundation being there, maybe that's something that we can think about as an advisory board to talk specifically about the functions, maybe with the foundation, maybe separate from the foundation, I don't know. But I just saw how beneficial that was both yesterday and today. Did anybody, I know Paul made it to the housing fair early. I got so much swag yesterday.
I gave out a lot of swag yesterday.
Yeah, Rosie was there. Rosie had a table that I swear had about 10 giveaway things on it. And I know that might have been loaded.
I told him I could distract him with my swag so then I can start talking to him.
So Rosie, as a participant in that, any idea of like numbers of people or what you think about? This is second year, or maybe more than that, but second year that I know of that you've participated in it, so.
It is, it's probably my fourth one, because we do it twice a year. This fall one was better attended and more vendors than the spring. So that was nice to see. And I'd say probably 200 people came through. I mean, it felt like quite a few.
Yeah, wow, good.
And a lot of new people.
That's good. I know
Because-
some of my.
Yeah.
We did, it was,
Yeah, some of my friends from my fitness class came and they'd never been here before. And of course, they're all of an age, you know, so it was beneficial for them in a variety of ways. Sari Bernard was here and she was actually looking for a line to someone that could help her with in-home services a couple times a month or a couple times a week or whatever. And so she was able to contact, you know, 2 or 3 booths of people that were here yesterday, so that was good, yeah. So,
Yeah, the only issue was Stan did not take care of the traffic issue out here.
oh,
so.
and they were the sponsors of
Yeah,
the,
Bonaventure sponsored, I know it was their construction that, you know, restricted but they tried to make up for it by sponsoring, so.
yeah, there you go. That was
Yes, Stan did a really good job of speaking and he had a great radio voice, telling everybody where the snacks were and what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got really well.
Speaking of snacks, there were items for sale from the foundation, but I didn't even realize where they were until almost time for me to leave and go home because they were around a corner in the other room. And I wondered if it might be more beneficial to have them next time. out somewhere.
Actually, the reason that we were providing and probably could have put it around, but we don't want to block that room. But next year, I don't know how close it'll be to not having pool tables in there. We might even be able to next year or maybe by next fall, utilize that room.
Spread it
for-
out. for the
Yes,
whole
and
event.
so it'll make more of the event in there because the pool tables won't be there. But one of the things that we're gonna do is partner with Pete's Cafe instead of having our own snack bar, we're just going to direct people to Pete's Cafe because this is one of the first times that we didn't close those partition doors.
Uh-huh.
And it really added to the environment. It was much nicer.
People walked in and out to see.
Exactly,
What was going on. I
and
noticed
that was exactly what we were trying to do,
Yeah.
and so rather than wall them off, we made it open and it worked out really well.
Yeah. Good, okay, well, lots of things to think about on that, but I think the foundation really should be commended for putting on that. I know the vendors pay to be able to be there, right? So And
but
then
CCAB.
they
So.
set it up themselves.
And the Plaquemines County and the governmental agencies, nonprofits get a reduced cost and this would be under governmental agency. So if you guys wanted to have a table,
Yeah,
it would be complimentary.
yeah. Oh, awesome. Okay, well, something to think about anyhow in the future, so. Yeah, it was a good event. I had fun yesterday. It was great. So, okay. Marty, thanks for that, and for setting up the meeting to happen after this meeting today. I think it's gonna be a fun thing, so thank you so much. And do you have
I
anything?
do, so,
Concord
so,
site?
yeah, so.
Okay, we'll go with that one.
Okay, so there's been conversations on the administrative level with Kia, our director, and Candy and others such, and they are not ready to form an advisory committee or join an advisory committee for Concord. The request is that we just remain at this point, the advisory committee for the Milwaukie Community Center. So
Okay.
it kind of got politicized. It becomes the political part of it sort of opened up at the CCAB, and right now they don't want any more of that than necessary. So we're just gonna, for now, we're just gonna stick with what we are here and be happy that we have this here. And we'll see how things roll in the future, but that's kind of the directive that we've been given. So.
Okay. All right, any other knowledge on that or thoughts from anybody or?
It doesn't surprise me that
Get
they
it?
did something like that. I think once they get something and have their own, then maybe it's time to pursue having maybe joint membership or like Joel does with the AV, having someone who sits on two different.
There's a lot of sediment that's, this zone, the zones and where people are from, which thankfully we don't have in this committee. We're all district, all for the Milwaukie Community Center. But a whole lot of the Concord talk and, and at that level, there's a lot of who's being represented for what. And it's a different dynamic, and we're not really ready to jump into that dynamic.
No, that's kind of a almost political hot potato. Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, that's great.
So
Well, we put forth the effort.
We did.
anyhow, so.
I don't see Melina on the agenda, but I would like to give her the opportunity to do her presentation before we go through all this, so she
Okay.
doesn't have to.
Yeah, she's on the agenda, but it's a couple things down, but we can.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry. So she's coming up anyway. Okay.
Right, and so, well, she and I have talked too, and she can do an overview of marketing and communications and that, right, so.
Yeah, it depends on how much time you want me to spend.
Okay. Sorry about that. I missed that.
No, that's good, that's good. Well, why don't I do this? I'm gonna go through the next item pretty quickly, I think, and then on item number 5 on the agenda, let's just start with Melina. You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so, the next item on the agenda is any comments on the goal document. As you're looking through it, if you see something that needs to be marked as finished or who's involved with it or whatever, you can let me or Rochelle know and we can add it to the goal sheet, kind of keeping track of where are we with different kind of things. I'll go through it this weekend and see where I might need to update things, because sometimes I know things have happened and I haven't thought to go back to the goal sheet and update them. So, and then, we're still looking forward to maybe after the first of the year, having a goal setting session that's facilitated. Kia had suggested that. And we'll look at the bylaws and the goals and whatever all at one time in a facilitated session. So we'll see how that goes, but don't need to worry about it right now. Right now, we'll just kind of keep working down this list. So good. Thank you. And anybody have anything to add to that? And
One of the community needs, which is close to my heart, is the AARP tax program.
oh yeah, and I don't think it's
So
on
perhaps you
here.
could
Is
add
it?
that in there.
Okay.
Because that does cover both young and old.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for that catch. That's good. Okay, all right. Now we're at standing reports, so let's start with
marketing communications, which could include anything on the website or whatever. So Melina, you got something for us, and take the time you need, because we're good.
Okay,
And we want to know about this stuff.
okay, so I'm gonna go with the 20-minute version then. That's okay. Great. Okay, so let me share my screen. Oh, I want to disable the first screen sharing.
Pardon me?
I want to disable first screen.
Disabled for screen sharing?
No.
Can you enable
You know,
her?
Sam?
So that you need-
Everyone's looking at the experts, don't look at me.
Why is that?
So I think you've gone to participants.
Well, it was only letting one at a time, and I think this one was already doing it. So let me see if I can.
Oh, yeah.
Like somebody knows about these things, because I look a little nutty if you.
Them up.
Yeah,
I got it. We're good.
You're in?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Awesome.
there we go.
Thank
Man.
you.
Oh, I need
And you
to
might have to close
cancel
that out.
that. Just can you cancel that window in the middle?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
We did it. Yeah, look at you. You called Steve Jobs.
That's good.
My name is Melina DiFrancesco. Thank you for having me today. I manage marketing and communications for NCPRD. I don't know if can everyone on screen hear me, or should I mute?
Yeah, Rosie, can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you, and I can see this shared screen, so we're good.
Okay, so today I want to just give an update on just an overview of marketing and communications at NCPRD, and then also to provide an update on the website redesign process. So I'll pause in between those two things for questions, and then at the very end, if you have other ideas or things you want to share with me or with them.
I do have a quick question for taking minutes. Will we get a copy of your presentation?
I can absolutely.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Thank
Easier,
you.
right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Great, well, let's get started. So again, my name is Melina. I manage all the marketing and communications. I've been at the district for 9 years, and then prior to that, I have 10 years in creative agencies in Portland. The other person on our team is Elena Baird, and she is our designer. And she has also about 18, 19 years of experience as well. And we are the team. It is us. There's two of us. And some of the things that we do across NCPRD. So we do brand management. So just making sure we have a polished presence out in the community. We manage all of our communications platforms. So website, social, email, print, all of it. We do program and event promotion. So at any given time, we have hundreds of programs, right, to promote. And usually there's a handful of events happening at the same time. And so we help to get the word out to drive participation and attendance for those activities. We also do event planning ourselves, but more tailored to like park openings, open houses, things like that. And it's always in coordination with the rest of our team. We also support capital project public engagement. So for example, the system plan that's happening right now, or the Jennings Lodge project, help with driving the awareness of that, whether it's, just overall awareness. Are we trying to get people to take a survey? Do we want people to come to an event? Really driving activity around those efforts as well. And then we also do advertising and awareness campaigns as well. We just launched a campaign for the aquatic park because attendance was lagging a little bit farther behind than some of the rest of our programs have picked up following, the pandemic. So as you can see, we do a lot. And with our limited resources, I think we do accomplish a lot and our efforts are effective, but because it's just us, we have to be really strategic about where and how we allocate our time, because there's so much more we could do. And I wish there was two of me. Okay, so just some of our outreach tools. We use digital. So we do a lot of digital advertising. This is huge. We send out e-blasts, digital ads, Google AdWords, social media. We also do mailers. So we send the discovery guide out in the mail, and sometimes we send out postcards. Sometimes we also leverage radio, TV, press releases, and then print. We do print as well. So We have our printed discovery guide, flyers, signage, print ads in the Milwaukie Review, out of home. So we also can leverage kiosks, billboards, bus ads, floor graphics, and then in-person tabling events. And I just wanted to show these to show here are the different tactics we pull from, right, to get the word out around any particular program or project or event, to drive awareness to the different divisions, programs, and services across NCPRD. So I want to dive into a few of these a little more specifically. So the first one is brand management. And this can be seen with, our consistent marketing materials that we develop for our classes and our programs. I'm sure you see the flyers around the center. We also do custom wrapped vehicles. So we have an NCPRD fleet, and so we do wrap our vehicles. We're trying to check that off little by little because it is a pretty big fleet. We also have branded tents and tablecloths and signage so that we have just really solid, polished presence at events. The email newsletter. So we just did our system plan survey, and one of the questions we asked people was, how do you want to receive information from the district? And the number one thing people said was email. And that actually really aligns with how we see this newsletter perform. So we have over 10,300 subscribers. So people who opt in. I redesigned and relaunched this in 2017. And it has grown significantly since then. So it's grown 89% since 2020. It's grown 134% since 2017. We get amazing open rates on this. So industry standards are like 15 to 25%. Our open rates are 38 to 48%. So people are opening our emails, they're engaging. And it's just a really good way to share information about everything happening. So our programs, events, projects, and other opportunities. You can sign up at ncprd.com. So that's a really effective tool that we use. Social media is also another one. We get really great engagement on social media. We have over just under 20,000 followers on social media. Around 12,000 of those are on the main NCPRD pages, with the remaining on the Milwaukie Community Center page, the sports page, the aquatic park page. And we get a lot of engagement. It's always growing. We've seen a 44% increase since 2020 across all pages. And I think it was like a 56% growth just on the NCPRD pages. But we do organic posts, but we also leverage social media for advertising as well, doing paid ads, and it lets us target by location, demographic. It's also really successful for driving awareness around events. It's one of our primary event promotion tools. So we do leverage social media quite a bit.
Can we, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Can we
no.
get a question? I know I talked to you about this after the DAC meeting on Wednesday, but specifically the Milwaukie Community Center social media pages, you aren't managing that directly. Do we know who's managing the Milwaukie Community Center's social media page?
We do. So I just manage the NCPRD pages.
Right.
And then Pam manages the Milwaukie Community Center page. However, Jessie has a knack for this, and we did just learn that she is interested and available to help.
Nice.
So we will be tying her in more. So I did just give her access, and we'll be doing training one day when we have more funds as a district. This could really be a full-time job, right? Social media. And so that is one of the areas where, as funds become available, having additional resources to help with that will be.
But in the meantime, it sounds like maybe we'd have, okay, that's great.
Totally. And I'll work with Jessie to train them, and we will start having more regular meetings as well. But yes, so, the aquatic staff manages the aquatic park page, and the sports team manages the sports page. So just based on my bandwidth, I manage the main NCPRD pages.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Digital advertising. So we do a lot of this, like I mentioned. One of the biggest ones we do is Google AdWords. And Google AdWords is when you type in anything into a search engine like Google. So you're searching for something. I want to know about basketball. I want to know about meditation classes. And we're able to target people based on how they prefer to search for info, like what they're looking for. So it's very targeted. And we do this with a lot of the Milwaukie Community Center programs already. So we have AdWord groups and campaigns set up for yoga, Tai Chi, art. So these are all running in the background. It's not something you would necessarily see or know that we're doing. But it is something that we do and it's constant. We're always running Google AdWords campaigns. And so it works. Like this is our third highest driver of traffic to our website. And these are people that maybe don't know about what it is we're offering, but they are searching for that thing. So it's a really great way to introduce people to our services and programs. So that's already happening. We already do that. And then we also advertise on other pages like PDX Parent, Pamphlet Media. We'll do Nextdoor boosted ads. So those are just a few examples of what we do for digital. Then we have our discovery guide. So this used to be a robust 32-page magazine style booklet. And then the pandemic hit. And then it went away altogether. And we just did digital. And it was still, our performance for our programs was really strong still with digital. But we were hearing, you know what, we need something printed. So we started doing this truncated version. And this is new. No other Parks and Rec agencies are really doing anything like this. And really, it's a truncated version. And what is included, it's mostly recreation, right? Because that's what we have space for. So it's youth programs, adult programs. These are all the adult programs that are recreation focused at the Milwaukie Community Center, right? And elsewhere. And then we also use the space for events and highlighting other things like the system plan or anything else going on. So it's not comprehensive in the same way that our guide was in the past. However, one of the benefits has been that it's more flexible because one of the things we're able to do now that we weren't before is we include this as an insert in the Milwaukie Review. So we print an extra 5,000 of these. It goes into the Milwaukie Review 4 times a year. So that's an extra 5,000 copies distributed to people who might not be aware of us. We also mail 3,200 of these to a mailing list for people interested in our programs and services. And then about 1,000 gets distributed at facilities, libraries, and local businesses. Now I do want to provide an update on this. So in the system plan, as mentioned, we asked people how they want to receive information from us. A lot of people said they want to do it with a guide. And so based on that feedback from the community as part of this process, we are feeling like we need to bring back the full guide. We need a full comprehensive guide that gives a cohesive view across all of NCPRD and the services that we offer. And that includes what's not in here. And what's not in here is like the social services programs, right? A full list of the travel trips. A full comprehensive list of all the swimming programs, which is a lot. So having that comprehensive guide, again, bringing it back, I think is something the community has told us now that they want to see. So we are looking into bringing it back, and I'm trying to find a way to keep both and maybe have just the design align in a way that it's really efficient to move content from one piece to the other. So we're exploring that, and we're also exploring costs.
How often would it be published then?
So we used to publish it 3 times a year, and the winter and spring was combined into one. So that's something we're going to be meeting internally to really talk about. Because it's a big push to produce a 32-page document.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And so we are discussing totally. We're talking about, is it 3 times a year again? Maybe the insert is 4 times a year and the big guide is 3. So we don't know yet. It also comes down to cost because this will increase our printing costs a bit. But if the community is telling us that that's what they want and need, then we need to meet those needs.
I have a question for you. Have you ever thought about an app and having an app with like push notifications and
Yeah. So we have thought about an app. I've looked into it in the past. A lot of I've seen a couple park agencies use an app. Portland Parks has an app. They don't use it. It doesn't get updated. I think.
I work for Portland Parks. I didn't even know we had.
Okay, now.
Apps for something like this really came about during a time when websites weren't as mobile optimized as they are now. So really our website could function in a way that people can access the information easily on a website to where they don't even need the app because our website will serve that purpose on their phone, so.
Yeah.
So and those take so much time to like maintain and update, but
They do.
exactly, but one thing we do want to do is introduce, text updates. So that is something we probably need to
Yeah.
start incorporating as well, just
Yeah.
to figure out the logistics of that. Great question. And then, of course, as you know, we have the Milwaukie Community Center Connection. So we redesigned this a handful of years ago, and it's a beautiful piece. I think it's turned out really well. I think, Stan, did we print 1,600 or 800? I couldn't remember.
Print 1,600.
We print 1,600, and it gets distributed at NCPRD facilities, events, and local businesses. It has grown over the years. So this too now is a 32-page document that lists all of our programs and services for the center. Now, I did want to flag this and bring this up with this group because it just is our reality right now is we don't have the resources to do both. Right? Like this has grown, so this never used to be this big, but it's grown substantially. And it functions more now as a program guide than a newsletter, right? Like most newsletters aren't 32 pages. So with that said, we have to make some decisions here. You know, our team is talking about this internally, but we just, as much as I would love to be able to produce both as they are, we don't have the resources to do that. And so what I'm thinking and proposing and hoping is that we keep this, right? Because it is substantial, it's important. Like we don't want this piece of communication to go away, but we make it reflect a more normal newsletter that you would see at a center. So we take out all the programs that are specifically listed in here because they don't need to be listed in two places. So we keep this, reduce the number of pages, have it function more like a newsletter, and then bring back the full discovery guide. And I will say, I think there's benefit to doing that. And the benefit is that putting the specific program listings into the full discovery guide again will give the center programs much wider distribution and awareness. You'll no longer just be focused on promoting these with center patrons. Those social services programs will once again have greater exposure across the entire district. So I do think there's benefit there.
So
Yeah,
I'm a little bit confused, so help me.
no, go, love it.
So the other magazine you're talking about,
Yeah.
this is an NCPRD function, right? But Connections magazine is a function of the foundation for the Milwaukie Community Center, focusing just on the Milwaukie Community Center. So
So it's
I'm
not,
confused.
it's actually an NCPRD production.
oh, okay,
It's the foundation that pays for the printing.
and that's what the okay.
Right, that's the foundational part is we pay for the printing.
Okay, yeah, thank you, that helps me understand the conversation that's happening at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, in our team does pull together the content. We do the writing, our team does the design. And similar to a full discovery guide, this too is also 32 pages. So again, we don't have the bandwidth to do both. So I think what it's looking like is bringing back the full discovery guide and then keeping the content, but having it function more as a newsletter than a program guide. Are there any major concerns about doing that? Maybe wanted to bring it up.
I was trying, in my brain, I'm trying to figure out what that might look like and how it would change this publication that has become a really premier publication that goes out to as many, I mean, you know, it was doing so well that we increased the printing from how many to 16?
Doubled it,
Doubled it.
800 to 16.
And it's got advertising in it, and they have certain expectations on the folks that are advertising in it, and I take it, this doesn't have advertising.
Yes, and the advertising portion could stay, right? So we're not cutting everything. The newsletter would function more as like, what are updates? What are new things? But like all the program listings, those would go into the program guide and then get greater distribution.
So what would it look like? Would it look like it does now similarly, other than some of the inside content? Or would it be a different,
More like
different kind of
featured,
paper.
almost more
Yeah.
just these featured events parts and less of
Yeah.
blue tables.
Well, and I like the fact that it's got lots of photographs
Well,
of people.
It doesn't sound like that's gonna change, it's just the programming listings are gonna be centralized for NCPRD and the Discovery.
It's
Like for
Guide.
this page.
So this would actually become, Connection can become more focused on Milwaukie Community Center.
So
in the
like
sense that
Connections has this nice.
all of
big
that's
one
gonna,
page
none of
of,
that's changing,
You know, this is, yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
programming listings.
So I see 4 pages of programming listings. Does that mean
And
we're
that's
going
what
to
we're told.
28?
Yeah, that's a good
No,
question.
no, so it would be a combination of taking out the programs, right? And that includes that full listing of social services, it includes like, you know, the tables, and so take out those programs. And I think we would make it look and feel the same, the cover would stay the same, we don't wanna change it that much. And then we would also have to just truncate some sections, so maybe the events page becomes like one page with listings, or just figuring out how to find out what information is critical to keep to make, still provide the same benefit that it does today, but the inside, again, we would try to make it look and feel as close as possible. But we might just truncate some sections to make them easier.
Would you have a way of kind of mocking up something? Yeah.
Exactly, that's where my brain is going too. I'd like to see what that looks like.
Are you trying to reduce it to a certain page number so it's shorter, like a newsletter instead of a booklet? Is what
Exactly.
I'm kind of hearing. But how short are you looking to make it?
Yeah, so that would either be 8 pages or 12 pages, which is standard. Most newsletters for community centers are actually 8 pages.
We'd lose a lot more than, I mean, it would lose a lot more than this thing. Paul has,
You guys
Paul
work on
We
it,
can
because
kind of-
that's what it all comes
Yeah.
down to.
That is what it
Is that
is.
you don't have enough hours.
Oh, wait,
Sorry.
So-
kind of answered half of what I was gonna ask anyway, but for point of clarification, we end up with 3 different items. A program listing comes out 2-3 times a year. These are inserts that come out 3-4 times a year. And this will still be an item that we cover before the community center. I would like to see the mock-up as she mentioned. I think
Yeah.
that becomes critical. I could support that, and if as long as we don't lose what we tried to accomplish over the last little bit, knowing that we have this finite budget, because you guys are overpaid at the budget level, so I get that. So I think that makes a little sense. I'd like to see that.
And Marty and then Lorraine.
And realize that Melina's not necessarily making all these decisions about what's in it. It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
staff, it's myself,
No.
it's Tina, the programming staff, it's
I get it.
Stan gets, he'll have some say in what the foundation remains, what foundation information, so we'll work as a team
Yeah.
to condense this down to,
That makes sense.
8 or 12 pages.
I would assume that.
Yeah, I know, but I know you'd assume it, but I'm just making sure everybody understood that
Yeah.
it's a team effort. It's not just the marketing folks that determine how this looks. I mean, they determine how aesthetically looks, but we determine what we need in there. And,
We still can't.
and the
forget-
trade-off, as Melina hinted, the trade-off of having our information more widely distributed to people that don't normally come in here, might not even realize we exist because they've never seen it, but to have these other printed, objects makes it, I think, better in the big picture. And then this is more like what's happening in these 2 months, what are we doing?
Now.
What's happening
Instead
now?
of
Exactly. And
giving it,
we
yeah.
would never, print and produce this without having a mock-up.
Yeah.
We're already in the process of.
It would be important.
Exactly.
Lorraine has a comment or
Yeah,
question?
I was just, because I'm new on this advisory board, it is that I think it's important for us to understand what the purpose of this piece is, versus the purpose of the other pieces. And if this were a condensed version, the people that are receiving it will be getting what they're needing from us. So I think that mock-up version would be great to have and even kind of do a little test sampling with people and ask them, what do you think? Is there anything you'd like to see in here that's not in here? Because I would hate for all the needs to be taken out of it. Because it is expensive to produce, it takes all of your time and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So what's next steps on that then?
Yeah, so next steps is to meet with the team to kind of flesh out a little bit more what stays in the guide. And then we do a mock-up, and we have a mock-up, and I do think that could be shared with this group, so you would have a better sense of what that looks like before.
Rosie, we haven't heard anything from you. Do you have any comments on this discussion? Or I don't, maybe.
Well, I think it's a big change. Mock-up would be nice to have. I know, I don't know, but I think one of the big reasons people like look forward to it is to see what's on the schedule for events. It's kind of a big, and that's why they hold on to it and keep it on their tables, is to refer back to what the classes and programming is. So would we be keeping that at least for what the center programming is? Maybe not focus on the full North Clackamas, but would we still have, you know, a schedule of events for the community center?
A schedule of events, I think, absolutely needs to stay in the newsletter. Again, it's mostly, you know, a lot of the program listings and the things that are redundant that are in there every single issue. It's more about what's new. And then again, you know, the other programs in here, like the recreation programs and other things like that, those would be in the discovery guide distributed district-wide.
Would the discovery guide have a listing of what's going on at MCC then too?
At the MCC, at the community center, Discovery Guide is gonna have what's going on at the community center.
Yeah, every.
I mean, yes, I mean, you know, for example, the current insert lists all the recreation programs. Like we're already doing that in some capacity, and so the discovery guide would then do that comprehensively in the same way that our full guide did in the past. So it would include all the recreation programs, all the social services, all the travel trips, all nutrition program, all events. That is what it used to be in the past, and that is essentially what it would be again.
What? I can't see the listing up there very good. Is that Dominic that's up there? Or-
Yeah.
Okay, hey, Dom. Yeah, yeah, if you want to comment, just let us know. You know, thank you. Yeah, I think it would be, I agree with what's been said here about it would be important to see more what you're actually talking about. We can envision almost anything, but
Yeah.
to go from a 32-page slick magazine that's got lots of photographs, which is one of the things I appreciate about this magazine. Because people like to see people,
Yeah.
there's no doubt, you know, and they like to see if they're in there themselves and, you know,
Yeah.
that type of thing, so. I would hope that would be forthcoming pretty quick.
Yes, we're working on that now. And again, if we have the resources to do 32-page guides,
Yeah.
we would, but at the end of the day, we just don't.
Okay.
So it's the human resources is what you're discussing specifically. I mean, because it's not the print resources, because we pay for this. Right.
Right, that's
Elena
why I
and
stay
myself
confused.
spend a
Right.
No,
lot of-
and I know you do. That's what I was just trying to point that out. When you say resources,
Exactly.
you're talking, and is there a way that some of those some of those responsibilities could be pushed out a little bit for this to maintain some of the size of it? Can somebody in the center help do more of that and put less on you, and so that we can still maintain this part of it?
I mean, the design, the content review, that will always just follow us, you know,
And so I say this because last October, I attended my first CCAB and my first even foundation board meeting as the director. And I felt like this board is the one that sent this board and the foundation board sent me out to say, we need more than what we need to get out. We wanted to do this. And so I feel like
Yeah,
it's a lot of hard work that I put into expanding this and getting the more pages so that we could start doing advertising in there. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh,
Being pulled back.
right. And then the other part is, what's your timeline on the implementation of this concept?
Good question.
So we are in September. Oh,
And
sorry.
then I want to be sure Rebecca has a chance to get the comment or question in.
Yeah, well, my concern is just that if all that information is now not just in one thing, and we're all, and other people are distributing this farther out, unless you have two pieces, where this gets to, it won't have all the information. So unless that person that's picking this up on the table or at their doctor's office also has that, it won't have that information.
They'll each be just
Right.
piecemeal.
Yeah, I get what what you need to do, but that's just, is there a dollar amount that can be figured out
It comes down.
for staff?
It's staff.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is, can money be applied to the budget to, I mean, is there a source for money?
Yeah, Lorraine,
To apply
comment,
to
question.
I don't know.
Just a really quick comment. I myself produce like a 35-page magazine, a guide once a year, and it takes months for me to put it together. I completely understand that the time and effort that goes into this, and it looks amazing. It really does. So even if there's like a middle ground, if there's something, or if there's something we can all help with, it's a beautiful publication, but I totally get the amount of time that it takes, for you to produce it, and it is top quality. So yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
So perhaps in the next discussion.
What is,
Steve,
just to be clear, what is the timeline for wanting to reduce it to 8 pages?
Yeah, so it's September now, and the goal would be to have it kick off at the beginning of the year in January, because that aligns then with advertising, right? Because the advertising contracts end at the end of the year, and so it would kick off in January, right? With the new advertising year and with the new criteria in place for that.
But that's not what not what we did as far as advertising. We sold advertising and sold it on a yearly basis, meaning, so when they signed up, they started their year. And that's what, I mean, it's in the paperwork that you sent to me. And so that means that all of a sudden I have Rosie, for instance, I think she started in May.
Yes, I started in May, and that's kind of what my concern is how I have an advertising piece in here, and the reason I signed up was because the number of the number of connection magazines I distributed and worthwhile. And so by reducing the publication, is it going to be as desirable? Is it still going to get out to that many people? Is it going to be picked up as often? It's just thoughts.
Well, it's a lot of good
So-
questions. I think that on both sides, and we should find some good answers, and if there are opportunities to come together with a little bit different thought process on what either or both of the communications might look like. Not sure.
The reality of it is we are part of NCPRD.
Right.
And we're under that shell, so the decision's gonna get made up here, and I agree 100% with staffing, we've got two of you. So we know that this program guy that we have is coming back. That's a known entity, so it's really not even for discussion, really. So what is, for the next discussion is what do we do then to fit into that? Because bottom line, what I'm hearing is that decision's been made. Reminds me of when I was working in corporate America, executives would come down and say, here's what we're gonna do. Great. Is there time for discussion? No, we made the decision. So really, that decision's been made.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you, I just think that's, you have to manage with the money you have to manage. I get that. So I think we need to tackle this from a perspective of what can we do to give the streamlined version of this to accommodate whatever we need. But back to Rosie's comment is that we are gonna have an issue with some of the advertisers who potentially are now seeing the product they agreed to put their name into. What happens to that? That's a viable question that needs to be addressed. That's a monetary question. You know,
And maybe a solution to that is just extending that time frame a little bit longer so that we can have the completion of advertising contracts.
We need to
Extending
have-
the advertising?
No, extending the length, the number more, instead of the first of the year, let's go to
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
March, April.
So
To
this-
complete the year
Right.
that we've already
Got it.
sold.
Got what you mean, yeah.
I chime in?
So, yeah, absolutely.
So just a few comments, and I appreciate everyone's feedback, and just a few comments on that is the decision to bring back the full guide was informed by community feedback. So just know that, that's where that decision was made. And then, you know, from a timing standpoint, the reason also we're shooting for January is because January is when we're anticipating launching the new website. And it makes sense to launch the new website with this new guide on the website as well for a comprehensive experience for people when they, you know, instead of.
Like a flip book?
Well, we would produce the full page discovery guide, and we would have it available online as a PDF, which is something you traditionally see with a lot of different park agencies. So, so being able to have it on our website when it launches in its entirety, that also is influencing the timing as well. And I don't think the advertising has to go away. I will say with advertising, when we helped create that plan, the advertising sheet for you, the recommendation was to do it on a yearly basis, January to December, which is what I would recommend again. And then if people sign on in the middle of the year to prorate it, right? Because if everyone's signing on at different times, there's no clear beginning and end period. And so that is what I would recommend. But I do think there's a way to still have that page for ads in there. That's one of those pages that I think we can prioritize and not take out.
So that's something that you come back to us with more of a, here's what this might look like.
Yeah.
You know, and we can visualize that instead of just thinking about it.
Is this on the website? Is the connections on there where you can actually flip through, so the advertisers are actually on the website as well?
Yeah.
Added benefit,
Yeah.
yeah.
And our website too.
Yeah.
And it would continue to be so. The future newsletter could still be on the website as well. That would be on the change.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you have enough information to put something together and come back to us at our next meeting?
I do, well,
Or-
so next steps would be for, again, us to talk with our internal team
Right,
who produces
yeah.
the newsletter, and then to mock up a version of what it would look like, share it with this group, and have you know, you'd have a chance to weigh in and take a look
Yeah.
before it goes to.
Have we scheduled that next meeting?
Yeah. You know,
Yeah, no, because we didn't want to do that prior to this meeting, so does that sound like a good plan? Okay, yeah, okay, I'm gonna fly through this because I know we're.
Okay, yeah, because we've taken a little bit more time,
Okay.
but we needed to have
I
that
know,
conversation.
I
That's
know.
why you brought it to
It
us, right?
is, yes, exactly.
You know, yeah, appreciate that very much.
So, I'll cover this really quickly, but we do a lot of performance tracking. We do look at quantitative and qualitative data. We look at website traffic, program performance. So just to let you know that we are constantly looking at how things are performing and how our efforts are performing so we can optimize in the future. But I'm gonna keep going. Wait, I know. So then I want to just provide an update on our website redesign process as well, kind of where we're at and next steps. So just some quick facts. Our website was built in 2010. This is long overdue. Believe so, really, I mean, if we're being honest. There are over 220,000 users annually that visit our website, with over 760,000 page views annually. We see growth year over year. Right after the pandemic, when things started to come back, we saw a 30% increase. This August, from August to August, over previous year, we saw a 14% increase. That's tied to our outreach and engagement efforts. Just every year, the website traffic grows. 71% of people who visit our website use a mobile device, which is pretty, you know, expected, considering how many people access information these days. And then 53% of traffic comes from organic, which again is when you type something into a search engine, our name or our services. And then 33% is direct, and that's when someone types in our exact URL. And the reason I wanted to mention these last two bullets here is because it just shows that people know who we are. The people coming to our website are aware of our programs and services. They're coming to the website specifically for that. And it also shows that we have actually solid SEO, search engine optimization, so that when people are searching for a service, you know, we do show up in search results organically. Just some website objectives. These are very high level, and again, you know, there will be additional tactics and tools and approaches we use to achieve these, but at a high level, we want to promote awareness around our facilities, parks, programs, and projects. And increasing understanding of what these initiatives and offerings are, and by doing that, we'll foster deeper connection between staff's work and the residents that we serve. We also want to actually then boost engagement and demand of these programs and services and events. So getting people to participate and making it really easy for them to do that. And then we want to optimize content management and information delivery. So making sure that the content management system that we use is easy to update and functions in a way that we can convey our information to people in a way that is easy for them to then digest and learn about. So what does this process look like and where are we at? So the first phase is the planning phase, and we're done with this phase, essentially. And so we hired a consultant. We had over 70 submissions for the RFQ process, which is nuts.
Oh, that's
I know, it took a lot. That took a lot, yeah. But we ended up with a really great consultant. They're called Motive, and they have been fantastic to work with, and they have a really impressive portfolio. We've also conducted our needs assessment and research, so I'll talk a little bit more about this in depth, but surveys, analysis, interviews. Thank you, Joel, for participating. And we use that information to then inform our website strategy, which is also now complete. We've identified Strapi, which is open source, as our content management system, and this is, you know, tentative, but that's who we've selected so far as a platform. And then we've conducted a content audit, and that's when we go page by page. This is also painstaking. Page by page, looking at what do we keep, what do we move, what do we get rid of. There's a lot of stuff that is redundant and getting deleted or old content. So we did go through that. So where we're at now is we're in the design phase, and that's when we do our information architecture, and that's when we do our design, right? And there's another opportunity for user testing here as well. Love for you all to participate in, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. And then from there, we go into development, building the site, testing it. Again, another opportunity for user testing where we want testers to try to poke holes in the website. We want to optimize it really before it launches. And then we go into maintenance, and in maintenance, there's, you know, also constant monitoring, optimization. So I want to talk a little bit more about the research methodology. So to gather insights and develop a data-informed website strategy, we implemented a variety of different methods. So one of them was stakeholder interviews, and thank you again to everyone who participated. We interviewed staff, we interviewed members from the Milwaukie Community Center Advisory Board, the Milwaukie Community Center Foundation, the District Advisory Committee, and also the Milwaukie Parks Foundation. Really to get a better understanding of goals and objectives and challenges and build that foundation of what these improvements need to look like. We're also weaving in findings from the system plan. As mentioned, we asked people, how do you want to receive your information? And that was really valuable in terms of, you know, next steps on the website and how we get people to engage. We did really in-depth Google Analytics. You know, we look at Google Analytics often, but our consultant went in there and did a really solid deep dive where they're looking at traffic, page flow, which pages are most popular, how long are people staying on the site, flow of traffic. So it was very helpful. And then we paired Hotjar on top of this. And Hotjar is another tool that provides additional analysis into the user journey and possible pain points, that heat map to the right. Super cool function, and that was part of the Hotjar analysis as well. We also did an environmental scan, and that's when you look at other similar agencies and organizations to look at what you like, things you might want to, features you want to adapt, industry best practices, and then we did staff and community surveys. As you can see, we have a ton of information at our hands already, but we still wanted to provide people with an opportunity to comment if they wanted to and to provide feedback. Some of the challenges that we identified, and I'll just go over this really quickly because I know we're over on time, but you know, for users, navigational complexity, people can't find what they need. It's not easy to access on a mobile device, design and content inconsistencies, and then accessibility limitations. From a staff standpoint, the CMS functionality, the website doesn't do what we need it to, and it makes it really hard. we need better conversion analytics for ongoing optimization. And then there's just user and navigation problems. Again, if people can't easily participate in the things we want them to, that has an impact for us as well. And then accessibility limitations, so just being able to share information with all residents of the community. So, oh, of course, I'm almost done.
I know, it's all good stuff.
Okay, and then just really quick, what we're looking for moving forward, so just what we're prioritizing. So as we build this website, we want a robust content management system. We want clean, modern, and engaging design. So think white space, beautiful imagery, fun design elements woven in. The website needs to be simple to use, so intuitive navigation and information architecture, super simple to get around, inclusive and accessible design, and this is very important. Mobile optimized, interactive tools, so think interactive maps, right? Virtual tours for the different park sites, videos for that. More opportunities for user feedback and conversion analytics woven into the website, so we have that ongoing feedback. Obviously, we want it secure and private, and then improved content and visual consistency across the website. So next steps, and this is the last slide, I promise, is we have some navigation tests that are ready to go, or some user tests. So the first is for navigation, where we'll just ask you to try to follow this navigation path quickly to see if you can find the things that you know, we're outlining. And then the design concept, and keep in mind, the design concept is not a layout of what the page will look like. It's just different elements pulled together to give you a sense of the overall look and feel. So it's a concept and not an actual design. So we'll send this out today. I'll send it to Marty, and Marty can share it with everyone. And we would love you to participate. I think each one only takes a few minutes, so it's not very long. And then we'll take this information, analyze it, and then move forward with building wireframes, developing mock-ups, and then building out the content. And that is it.
Thank you, thank you, and I know you had to rush me, I appreciate that, but I also appreciate that we had the opportunity for such great comment and
I appreciate
conversation.
that as well.
Thank you, so Joe,
Can I just ask a quick one for the navigation testing? I mean, I know you're going to share it with our board or what, how do you distribute that to other testers in the district? I mean, is it just kind of a?
Yeah, that doesn't go out to everyone. That's
Right.
not something that goes out, but it will go. It's a pretty robust list. So it will go out to everyone, you know, the advisory board here, everyone with the foundation. It will go out to everyone on the DAC. It will go out to pretty much our entire staff. And then it will also go to other members who participated in the stakeholder interviews, so the Milwaukie Park
Cool.
Foundation. And then when we did the community survey, there was a question at the end where we asked people, do you want to participate?
Oh,
in
nice.
user
Okay.
testing? Only 9 people said,
Yeah,
yes, let's
all
do
right.
it. But they will
All right,
get.
Joe and I were amongst them.
No, you weren't. These are community members.
Oh,
that I
good.
recognize on that list, so they will
Good.
also, I think it's maybe about, staff aside, it's probably about 40 people.
That's great. I figured it was targeted, but I just wanted,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, that's good. to
Thank
know.
you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
for
Be
having me
exciting to
today.
see.
Thank you.
So by our next meeting, will there be some changes that we want to have you back on the agenda for, or?
The only thing that I can think of is if we have a template in place to review the truncated connection, but in terms of the website, by the next meeting, I don't think so. Perhaps
Okay.
the one after that, but.
Or maybe on the November?
Yeah, and even at that time, really, it'll be a user test to test the website, so, I think at that time, I could just maybe walk through a draft version, but before you get me on the schedule.
Yeah.
Sign you up.
But yeah, as soon as I know a more
Yeah.
concrete date of when we'll have a web, and even a draft website we're
Okay.
sharing, I'll let Maddie know, and we can coordinate and then discuss it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
thanks so
having me
much.
today. I
Really
really
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great information. Good to see this happening.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay, back to agenda items. Stan, kind of a quick overview.
I apologize. Is there any way I can go? Because I.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah. Do you need to-
Coming up, I have to, there's a letter plan.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay, go ahead, Sarah. Yeah, come on.
Well, I just want to give you guys.
Recreation and program.
Okay, I want to give you guys an update. Fiesta Latina in El Parque is tomorrow, Saturday. Looks like may have rain, so we are going to be possibly implementing our rain plan. And so that is the case, we'll be bringing everything indoors from Milwaukie Community Center here. So, and then having, some of our food vendors on the south lawn. So we're gonna just keep watching the weather today and then make that decision later this afternoon. So, and I'll be in touch with you, Marty, to talk about that.
One day of rain,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
so one day of
You
rain.
know, and I'm looking at the NOAA weather report, it says likely between 11 o'clock and 4 o'clock.
Of course.
Oh, the wrong time.
And then everything else is just scattered, not likely.
What a great opportunity to get people in.
Yeah, I'm hoping
All
to
at
change.
once.
It was at 15% yesterday, so. Just to let you guys know, we are wrapping up a lot of our summer events, our concerts in the park series and our movies in the park series. We were very successful this summer with our attendance for everything that we did. Our Recmobile, attendance increased by 8% from the year before, even despite that we had less sites, due to the severe heat. So typically we have about 68 sites. We only did 66, opportunities for people to visit those parks. Due to some days where the heat was just too much to have the site going in the afternoon. Our movies in the park attendance was actually almost identical to our movies in the park last year. But this year we only offered 4 movies in the park, and last year we offered 5 movies in the park. So to have that the same amount of attendance with 1 less movie was very successful. Our concerts in the park, the attendance for that grew 26% from last year. So we had, it was a great opportunity. Our Milwaukie Bay Park concert was awesome. We had the help of the Milwaukie Community Center Foundation. They were our beer vendor at the event, and it was really a great opportunity to have them there and just to showcase the center and then showcase also North Clackamas Parks and Recreation, all the programs that we have going on. Overall, when we did our year in review from last fiscal year to the previous fiscal year, our participation numbers are growing. We've grown 7% in all adult and youth programs across the board. And then we are working on increasing our teen opportunities, and that is going to start kicking off here. We had our, if you guys remember way back in March, we had our first teen night. We are now doing a series of teen nights, and that kicks off on September 27th here at the center for our Mad Science Night. So we have some people coming in. We're doing strawberry DNA activities. We're doing some how to make cotton candy and the science behind it. We're doing a lot of different fun activities in each of the rooms here in the center. And then also our Halloween bash and movie night is coming up Saturday, October 26th. And the foundation again is going to help us with that event. They're going to be here to sell hot dogs, chips, and some movie candy or movie snacks. That event though is a trick or treat event, and we do have passing you guys around a sponsorship opportunity for businesses to sponsor us in either candy or cash. And so we are looking for businesses that may want to help participate with this event. We in the past have had anywhere from 300 to 400 trick or treaters. We would like for them to walk away with a bag of candy with at least 18 to 25 pieces of candy. So that's our goal. All the rooms here at the center will have activities going on. There'll be staged. We have an alien room. We have all different types of rooms. We have a dragon room. There's different things with different themes we're going to be bringing back. And then there'll also be doors, offices that the kids can knock on and actually trick or treat. And so that will start at 4:30. It'll go till 6:30, and then at 6:30 we're actually showing Monsters Inc. the movie in with our big inflatable screen in the Milwaukie community or the main room, and it'll go into a whole movie night.
Nice.
So we're trying to gear it for not just the littles, but all age family events. So we kind of merged it to make it 2 events, a trick or treat event earlier on, and then leading into a movie for a family and Halloween event.
It sounds like such fun.
It will
Monsters
be.
Inc. is one of my favorite movies.
I think it's gonna be a great, well, we did
I love
a
it.
survey, and that was the one that came back that they really wanted,
Yeah,
so.
very cool.
Picture costume.
So if you guys know of any
Not yet.
that might want to help out with candy donations or in cash donations, so we can purchase the candy, please, pass this flyer along, let them know. I'll be presenting this at the North Clackamas Chamber, as well to try to, get businesses there. One thing new that's about with Fiesta Latina is that we have 31 vendors this year. And so we are having, typically in the past, we've done about 10 artisan vendors. We added it this year to resource vendors. So the foundation will be represented, and we will also have, another about 11 or 12 resource vendors on top of additional, artisan vendors. And so that is something new this year to grow the event. So we're looking forward to really offering a lot more community resources too.
Good, thank you.
Questions? And I apologize for how fast I've got to get out of here.
Wow, that's it.
When do you need the sponsorship information?
I think it's on there. I think it was October, did they?
All donations.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is, October 15th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last time I was in Costco, they had great big bags
They
of candy for
do.
$20.
Yes, in fact, those
Anybody's got
actually are
$20 in them.
$18.59. We did, I had to go and get 3 carts full of candy for some of their events. So, yeah, $18.99.
Yeah, good, good.
And that's actually the way they force the oil for them. That is actually the most
Equal to buy, you get one.
yeah, no, that's what, yeah.
Next time you go to Costco, buy it and give it to you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah, people could do, yeah.
Can you email that flyer out for the
Absolutely, we can.
Halloween event? Yes,
You know,
I would be interested in doing that as well. I think that would be a lot of fun.
oh,
And I love a good reason to dress up.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Goodbye. Okay. Stan, welcome.
I can dress up like an old person.
We have 15 minutes left of our meeting time, so I want to be sure we hit the highlights of the things that we need to know before we leave here. So, Dan, let's start.
Well, I'll be quick and to the point, and I'm gonna send these each way, so you can pass them around. Got a raffle going on, election day raffle. You'll see that there's a night for 2 and dinner and a round of golf from Chinook Winds there. And then also, if you've ever admired the quilt behind the front desk, if you've ever admired the quilt behind the front desk, that is also those 2 things are going on. The new connections, as you see, are out, and there's extras in that box right over there. Make sure you take some for distribution. We did have an awesome housing and senior services fair yesterday. It was really well. It just went over really well. I had 30 vendors, and like somebody said, I almost around 200 plus, and then a lot of new people. Things coming up. Next month, we have a Mahjong tournament. If you're a Mahjong player or know someone, please make sure they get a hold of Angela, because Angela is the one that's taking the registrations for that. And then we're planning ahead. Thanksgiving dinner's coming up. We're also looking for sponsors for Thanksgiving dinner. If you want to become a sponsor and be on all of the promotional stuff, we have that opportunity. Or if you know someone that would like to be part of that, that's coming up as well. And then for that week before Thanksgiving, we do donate a dinner, and we partner with New Seasons, and this store, the new one right down here in Milwaukie, will actually be where they'll be collecting for us. Plus, we'll have volunteers at the door with our promotional information and letting them know that they're going to be able to donate, and we're also giving an alternative way to donate. Because we are able to give an alternative way to donate, we don't have to keep it to just 8 days. I'm also going to be looking for other people that want to join us in Donate a Dinner. It doesn't have to be for 8 days. We can do it for the whole month of November if we want. But this is all going to Meals on Wheels. It's really important. And we've really lost a lot of sponsorship for Meals on Wheels when we lost Bob's Red Mill. And so we're really trying to make sure that we're replacing that as much as possible. And if we can extend our opportunities to get more donations and more sponsorships in that way, that's what we're trying to do. I've been meeting with some other local businesses that are saying, yes, we want to participate in this as well. They don't have to do it at the cash register. They can just have our QR code right there and people can donate right at this, right on the spot. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Joel, do you have anything from the DAC?
Just briefly wanted to mention that we were presented for the system plan that Emily kind of touched on too. We were presented some higher level data they collected. They're kind of wrapping up phase 2 of what's been approved by the board of directors for NCPRD. And there's, I thought there was some really interesting feedback on programming specifically, at least as that affects the Milwaukie Community Center. And I know at least that information was available on the DAC packet info. So if you're interested in kind of getting some of that initial feedback, check out that website. I always Google NCPRD DAC, and I'm one of those organic hits because of that, but it usually lands you pretty quickly. And it is interesting. It just gives some feedback on demographics and what people are wanting to see as far as programming and accessibility, things like that. The only other major thing that was important is actually the DAC passed a resolution unanimously to urge the Board of Directors, which is the Board of County Commissioners, to approve funding for the next 2 phases of the system plan, which is phase 3 and 4 analysis and then implementation, I believe. I might be getting those wrong, but it's keep continuity going and actually use the data they've taken so much time to collect. They are meeting next Wednesday at the Aquatic Center at 6 p.m. That'll also be available on Zoom. I urge everyone in here, if you're interested in supporting that and actually making this system plan happen, I mean, you can certainly attend if you wanted to address it, but if you're following, that's going to be the next major day as far as making sure that system plan continues. I know Dominic's there, and if I've missed anything there, please let me know, but that was kind of the meat of what I wanted to present. I know we're short on time, but please chime in if you think of anything.
I can't think of anything, Joel. You covered it great.
Thank you. Thanks, Joel. Marty, I'm gonna leave these last couple of things to you.
Sure, I don't have too much to add. It's been nice, as far as facilities go. We've had some volunteer groups, recently to help clean up the area, particularly that back garden area. If anybody ever walks back there, it looks real nice.
Nice.
They actually clean the area, clean the parking lot and the forest back there a little bit, and then they did some maintenance out in the rose garden. And we've also had individuals that do community service sometimes, or just volunteer for other reasons, but and usually those folks are contained to the outside due to, due to our population here. And they've been doing some painting, and we got Joseph does a really good job of lining up projects for them, which is kind of we've done it in the past, but there's kind of been you get on the radar of certain people, and then you get more volunteers that way. So that's been really nice. Also, we are in the process of finding some shelf-stable meals, which we'll send out here in the early fall. We'll ask the foundation. We started this last year, but we'll ask the foundation to help pay for those. And the purpose of those are for the people on Meals on Wheels. So when the bad weather hits, we don't feel extreme pressure to deliver those meals. So that is quite the undertaking. Instead, we refer people back to the meals they're supposed to have saved from the earlier deliveries. I say supposed to because we can't make them save them, but that's the purpose of them.
Right.
So,
it's such a good idea.
yeah, so we try to get that. We did it last year and it got delayed as things do, and then we ended up having the meals like right before the actual event hit, if you recall from last year, and it was kind of a problem. We did get the meals out to people, but we actually delivered them during the bad weather rather than prior to the bad weather, which was kind of so this year we're going to get them
out there,
get them out early,
smart,
and make sure that people have those. Maybe even re-up it if we do have bad weather. So I think that's really important. And it's nice. We do pay for them. We also do get reimbursed from the state and the federal government for those meals too. So. Other than that, I don't really have any.
Okay.
We've got plenty of meat in this meeting today.
Yes. Yeah, it was a good meeting. I like it when we have those discussions and people have an safe environment to put their thoughts in and share them with others and get new information in and then kind of put that with the information you already have and, you know, makes for more intelligent decisions in the future. Thank you, appreciate that. It's now time for any public comment from any member of the public that would like to comment on any item that is not on the agenda today. I don't see anybody on Zoom that might want to do that, and there's no one in the room, so I will assume that there will be nobody providing that kind of comment. Any comments from members today of things we've overlooked or something you want to share with us or anything new and good and wonderful? Okay. In that case, I will take a motion for adjournment. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And we just sit here. Don't everybody read it? That was Virginia. I know that for sure. And Paul. All those in favor say aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Always fun and interesting around here, right?
Always.
Thank you guys seriously for having such a good discussion.
Just signed up.
Friday, sorry.
Second time actually.
Works really well.
And
also the time I'm Friday or the other day than usual, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, meetings from 8
Yeah. That's the whole difference thing, 'cause it's county. It's not, I'm actually interested in
yeah, a lot of my coworkers don't do 410.
It's not a.
Right. They don't even do yet. Sorry.
But Fridays are really chill for me because I'm not getting from very little.
And then
Good day to, you know, have that.
so you can actually,
Have a base with other.
Never gonna be like, why do I need to save that?
Yeah,
You
that's.
know, don't say something in there where somebody wants.
Program Fridays is a really popular day.
Yeah.
I would assume. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of nice. Some of the days. Program knows.
Yeah. Friday afternoon, like Friday afternoon, right here. is pretty fun.
No, I'm doing that.
Yesterday, we.
I think there's like.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
All
was
of
the same thing, like.
all
all of those things are just like.
I was there at 7 a.m. rolling and out over the gym floor, so I wasn't gonna get down. Setting up the table.
Where's that?
It's in North. Yeah, so I was, then I went to Delta right after that.
For the price.
Yeah.
No one, everyone's never gonna be happy.
I don't add serious.
I had to change what.
On air job fair.
Exactly.
Well,
Even though
I was out there.
She got
Interviewing interviewing B-roll, not me.
Right, so.
And the striping,
Yeah.
baselines and stuff. It's really cool. Yeah, we were right at the softball.
Yeah.
With the people that make it happen.
Like somebody.
Played softball there and also.
Yeah.
Somebody's done soccer there.
Oh, sure.
You know,
Oh my
like,
God, yeah.
you know.
And it's sometimes like
Well, right, but it's like, but.
you know,
and I'm like,
15 minutes or less in between turns. Fields.
I mean, you're right.
You know, the game, you know, lucky a couple of them had all right. Same stuff. They've got 2 or 3 games.
Either editing.
It was really
That's
colorful.
fine.
I saw
on the
Wow.
And that's why I have a question about how they get.
If you're, if this is
That's fine,
then
like,
I mean,
look,
hey, like,
this is your problem, then you.
what you do,
Yeah.
because then I can use that
And so.
narrative for marketing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Guys, so then that's what's fascinating, because I'm thinking myself.
Yeah, you know, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
Maybe
the,
we already have.
it's just different. It's all, it's all apples and oranges, but like. Big shot.
It's a big gap.
That's pretty,
Yeah.
pretty huge.
She just, that second person is full-time person.
And no.
Yeah,
we
so
want
part-time
to-
work, right?
But that's, we have a different team.
Yeah.
Pretty, some stringy things around here.
Well, we're
I think that's
serving
common, were it not for the levy,
older.
Yeah.
the one in 2020, we would.
No, I like that.
We would have a similarly
It's also
sized
marketing.
communications
It's a
and marketing team.
fundraising
The levies tripled.
Yeah.
That out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we had one
Flynn,
public
they
information
don't
officer.
do a separate thing
Mhm.
this
Maybe
big
that
for
was
the
basically, it.
Wow.
community center.
But then 2020 on that, you know, added an internal communication.
Every
person, then
quarter, you know, so like she's like.
equity communicate, you know, all these,
Doing that anymore, and that's why.
there's no sweet spot, I think.
But at least
Mhm.
what's Lynn, I can't speak for her.
I was about to say, between you and me, there's been an explosion in administration.
Yeah.
I mean, including my entire team, so I can't.
It's in there, and I
Right.
don't
Me
know what's
too.
in that other background.
I would say that
But it-
living in Portland, I think there are
Because if
parts,
it's per quarter,
you're right.
that would cut back on.
The
man
division
hours,
is
which is,
pretty outstanding.
You know.
I mean,
I'm
just-
proud
just-
of
just
that
the-
would help out.
Well, first of all, just the structure, like.
Because
They have
Infrastructure.
the.
everybody-
That's.
Schedule.
Specific. I mean, almost anywhere you live.
Reduce.
Right.
You've got
Within a
nice
half-
park,
within
which
a
is-
quarter or half
Put
mile.
more information, right? But
The
you're-
original
you're
planners were
truncating.
pretty.
Right.
Yeah, we got lucky in
We got
that.
lucky.
We inherited a fairly robust system
Pretty
all of
robust.
us here today.
And even golf courses, I mean, that's pretty.
That's what
Right.
everybody knows to do.
That's where I golf. I mean, it's Portland golf.
I was just in Coles the other day, but I live here, kind of near.
Hold on to it anyway.
With
So-
Milwaukee, I
so
live
maybe
kind of
that's
near
a way
this
to
world,
back
so
Yeah.
I don't go
Well,
to the
that's
drive
right
there. That's fun. I just started.
Oh, do you? The sun? How you doing?
You know, I'm not as awful as I thought.
Really? I mean, it's a hard sport.
Oh, I know. My friends have been
Similar.
incredibly
That would cut
patient
back
and
on a
very,
lot of That production hours.
they've been great at giving me tips.
Supportive, yeah.
Right, and I've been mostly playing like Eagle Landing and like Staley and
Right.
like.
Well, but they're already
Park
doing that.
threes,
They-
and
they got
build like a
it
lot,
ahead of
something
time,
little
that-
bit.
Yeah.
Cute, like
Or different-
low 90s at Staley, which
Yeah.
translates
They're-
to a big boy course.
Yeah.
Not
and
amazing,
Right.
the same-
but I still feel pretty good.
You know, as long as you
That is-
get around, you don't inherit.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not holding.
You're not holding it up.
I'm not endangering.
You're not
anybody's-
endangering.
Well, the managers that saw it here are probably not.
I don't either.
There's no barter, right? There's no barter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's what I mean.
It's not-
I think just yell across the course, straight it up.
And I will say, I've already become the person who was stuck behind
It needs to be.
teenagers and
Yeah.
turned it into a grumpy old man right in front of my own eyes.
Yeah.
This is on this.
I believe it's Lorraine.
Because we put it on our website. and so-
Are we just, we're just setting.
We're just setting.
There's some parameters.
Good. If you get the email and you go to the website and look at it rather than.
Yeah, when you
try
get,
to-
you know, you're talking to friends better, you want to help you better faster.
Because that way it's.
Because you're
It's just.
I have some friends I've been trying and it's unsuccessfully, whenever you get someone sort of in, you're always like, let's go, because.
Yeah, we're so thrilled we finally.
It's solved all the rules. Like a barber shop.
Okay.
I got it.
That's all mine, right?
Good excuse to
Get out.
get out. Yeah, exactly. It's been a lovely summer for most of it.
Do you want me to close this?
Yes, please, thank you.